Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. This channel offers elementary art lessons taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I look forward to virtually creating with you. There are new lessons posted weekly. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss a single one. So go grab your art supplies and your thinking caps and let's begin. Hey artists! We are going to be learning about Keith Haring today and creating a piece of artwork based off of his style of drawing people. So in this painting right here, you see some really energetic, fun-looking drawings of people. They look like they're dancing and jumping and just having a really great time together. Keith Haring had an awesome attitude towards life. He was super kind, super caring, and he just wanted to paint these beautiful, colorful pieces of art in as many places as he could. Linked below in the description of this video, there's a link to another story about Keith Haring. I encourage you to go and listen to that story, and when you're done listening to that story, I'd like for you to come on back here, and you and I will begin our own Keith Haring family portrait. I hope you enjoyed that story. Okay, so now we're going to begin drawing our Keith Haring inspired family portraits. Now, whoa, Mrs. Minto, what is that in your hand? That is not a pencil, that's a permanent marker. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to be creating our work of art using a marker first. I know, what if we make a mistake? Don't worry about it. We will have an opportunity to turn those mistakes into happy accidents if they occur, but let's think positively. All right, so grab that marker and let's begin drawing. So I'm going to start with the Keith Haring head, which is just basically like a letter C. Then I'm going to add an arm, and I'm allowed to let the arm bend one time at the elbow, just like I did here. And then the hands actually look like little feet. Interesting, but that's what Keith did, so that's what we will do. And then the other arm is exactly the same. Perfect. The tummy is just basically two lines that are right beside each other. And then the legs are exactly like the arms, and I'm allowed to let them bend one time also right at the knee. Excellent. Okay, so that very first one, that's you. So now I'd like for you to think of the other people in your family that are important to you, and I'd like for you to also draw them dancing along with you. Now, you might run into a situation like I do sometimes. I drew pretty large for my first portrait. That was me, my self-portrait there. And so that means I have to probably draw the other people that are with me a little smaller. So as I'm drawing my husband here, I'm going to draw him a little smaller than me because I'm running out of room on my paper. So a little bit smaller for him, but I'm going to keep going. Fantastic! Okay, now I'm going to draw my daughter, and she's going to be down here near the bottom of the paper, and since I don't have a lot of room, I think I'm going to make her sitting. That way I don't have to draw her super small. So I'm going to draw her head, and then I'm going to have her sitting. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Sharpie, and I'm going to draw some action lines. These are lines to show movement. So I'm going to make these quick little lines wherever I think something might be moving on these people. So their arms might be shaking, their feet might be jumping, their heads might be tilting. So whatever you want to think is moving, put those little action lines around it. All right, so here's my favorite part. I'm going to begin adding some symbols to the background. And each of my symbols needs to have a special meaning for me and the people in my family. So those little triangles, they are going to mean camping because my family really enjoys camping when the weather is nice and we love to go out in our camper as much as we can. Now, I'm also going to draw some zigzags. These zigzags are going to represent the beach. These are like the waves at the ocean. So I'm going to make a lot of zigzags because we spend a lot of time at the beach in the summertime. Now I'm going to make an X because my family also loves to do something called geocaching. Geocaching is when you search for little treasures out in the world, and there are clues to lead you to the spot. So X marks the spot, right? So I'm going to put a little X for that. And then finally, I'm going to put little groups of dots. And these little dots are going to represent looking up at the night sky for me, because we always notice on a clear night those beautiful stars. Sometimes we even see them forming constellations. So little dots are going to represent the night sky. Now notice that I didn't just put one zigzag, one triangle, one X, and one group of dots. I made a bunch of them all over the place. Wherever seems to, be kind of empty, that's where I sort of allowed myself to add some of these designs. And then finally, I'm going to add some swirls. And these little swirls are going to represent wind, but not the kind of wind you're thinking of. When my family and I enjoy going bike riding, we like to ride really fast. And it's so windy when we're riding super fast. So I'm making these little swirls to remind me of our bike rides and riding really fast together. Okay, and then just double check if you want any more action lines or if you want to repeat some of your symbols a little bit more. And then whenever you're all done today, we're going to put this aside, and whenever we rejoin next week, we're going to finish this up. So go ahead and put this aside, put it in a safe spot, and I'll see you back here next time at the Heart of a Viking.